Okay, so a lot of people do remarketing. That's when somebody goes to your website and then they go to other websites around the web and you follow them with advertising. But what I see is a lot of people don't really know the best way to do it. So today I'm going to walk you through my favorite way to do remarketing, where basically you're hitting the right people and getting them to come back into your funnel. This is going to save you a lot of money and it's going to make your remarketing much more effective. Also, make sure to take the time to click the bell and subscribe if you're on YouTube so that you can get future videos. Okay, so with any remarketing strategy, there's really two elements to it. One, there's the targeting, and then the other is the advertising. And the targeting, of course, is dependent on the platform. Nowadays, you can do remarketing throughout the Google Display Network. You can do it through other networks as well. You can do it through Facebook. You can do it through LinkedIn. You can do it through Pinterest. You can do it through Quora. You can do remarketing a lot of different places online. So first thing is you need to think about what networks are you going to be on. And in my opinion, the more networks, the better, because in general, remarketing to these people with advertisements on these networks is not very expensive because it's a smaller audience. So first thing you want to do is at least determine what are the top networks that people are going to be on. Is it Facebook, Instagram, Google Display, and YouTube? Those are generally some really good ones. And then make sure that you're thinking about how you're going to be approaching people on those platforms. Okay, so the next thing you want to think about is your frequency. So how many times you're going to be hitting these people with your message, and then what is the sequence of the message going to look like? Generally, if you're hitting somebody more than 5 or 6 times in a month, it's getting to be a little bit much, right? So you want to keep a frequency somewhere between, 5 and 10 times a month, somewhere kind of in that middle range. If you're hitting them every single day with every single, feed that they see within any one of these social platforms, sometimes you can get a little bit of negative feedback. So for example, if I were to hit you with a video on Facebook every single time you log in, you would probably get pretty sick of me. I would be sick of me too, right? So you want to watch that frequency. It's different for every different type of product or service out there. Generally with products, you can go higher frequency than you can with a service-based business, but it's different for different ones. Okay, so the next thing you want to think about is the creative. And the creative is really dependent on the platform. Now, the reason for that is certain platforms have different interactions with audio and without audio. So for example, on YouTube, there's always audio that's playing. On Facebook, in most cases, the audio isn't playing. And so there's a lot of silentness that happens on Facebook and that happens on Instagram. So when looking at each platform, you want to match the creative to that. And in general, you want to have a mix of creative. So, if possible, you want to have a different piece of creative that matches the frequency of what you're hitting the user for. So if you're hitting them 5 times in a month, it's nice to have 5 different pieces of creative. And you want that creative to be a good mix. You want that creative to be images. You want that creative to be videos. You want that creative to potentially be an article about how great you are. You want that creative to maybe even be a blog post or something that you've written. You want to try different types of ad formats. So is it the carousel-based ads on Facebook, a video ad, or is it just a basic static image with a call to action? When you have this kind of mix of elements, what you can do is let the platform run, and then you can find out which one performs the best. Also, in addition to that, different things resonate with different users, and it's going to allow you to understand which ones are really the best and then scale the type of creative that's working the best for you as you kind of continue building out and refining your remarketing and retargeting strategy. Okay, so I started this video kind of talking about one thing that's really important. And here's the most important thing for me. It's really the audience. Yes, the creative's important, the platform's important, those two things really, really matter, but the audience really matters too. Let me tell you why. If I set up a 90-day remarketing window for my website, what would happen is you would have 600 to 800,000 people who, when they went on Facebook, they would get the message. That would make them a little bit expensive to target. But what if instead I looked at the most important pages on the site or if I set it up just based off of people who had converted and I tailored specific messages to the specific pages and the conversion that those people associated and were associated with. That makes a huge difference, not just for my website, but for any website out there. So think about if you're an e-commerce site, remarketing them with the specific product. If you're a travel site, the specific destination. So it's really, really important that the remarketing strategy is set up dependent on the specific landing page that that person visited. That makes all the difference. And then, of course, you need to build the creative off of that. Okay, so those are my tips for you today about setting up a good remarketing strategy. Now, keep in mind, once you've got a really good pool and an audience there, you can always create a similar audience or a lookalike audience and build out from there and start generating more people back to the site. And the whole thing kind of snowballs if you've set it up correctly. Thanks so much. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time.